I mean, everybody here ain't Paul George. Everybody here ain't Siakam, y'all. You understand? The teams y'all gonna go to, y'all ain't gonna be able to have the ball like that. So y'all gotta do loose. Motherfucker, the ball in the ISO, you corner man, you just sitting there. You're in the way. You gotta cut. You gotta do something. You gotta be active. Defensively, like everybody trotting back, but we ain't running back. Like how good you want to be. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my message. I ain't really.
No, I love it. This is what this is about.
Find your role. Find your niche in your role. Find it. You feel me? Everybody ain't gonna be able to shoot hezzy pulls. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just the reality of it. You feel me? So find your niche and stay with it. Keep building off of it, but find it though first.
Some say he's not NBA material. Others a role player. But actually, he's the next evolution. When it comes to role players, technically everyone has a role, but traditionally, role players were defined as valuable teammates who were not the star franchise players. They didn't do the heavy lifting, they were replaceable yet still needed. Like Pat Bev was saying in the beginning of this video, most players in the league are role players. So while Pat was in his open gym playing with guys that are trying to make the league, he started to notice a lot of dribbling and offensive playing like those guys were going to be leading a franchise, which is rarely the case. He was saying we're the guys that are going to play hard even though they don't have the basketball. Running back on defense, making the cuts, giving 110% to make your goal a reality. Most players want to look pretty out there, but Pat Bev understands the ugly side of the game.
Let's get back to it.
Back to the sniper. If you were to say that LiAngelo was simply a role player in front of his fans, they would get upset. And if you were to say he is an NBA player in front of his critics, they would have a seizure. There's barely any middle ground. That's because Jello is a type of player the NBA hasn't seen yet. And what you don't understand, sometimes you're afraid of. It goes all the way back to Chino Hills. How does the third option on the team score the most points? That's what the scouts were saying to themselves. Thus the conundrum to this day. But they had something wrong. LiAngelo wasn't the third option. He was just playing a new role that they hadn't seen, one created by his father. It's a mixture of a role player and a franchise player. G3 is a hybrid. He hustles up and down the court like no one else. He waits patiently for the ball, but when called upon, he can be instant offense. He doesn't need to bring the ball up the court. He doesn't need more than 3 dribbles. Heck, he doesn't even need their money. He just needs the ball on time and in his spots. He's the kind of player that may not pass the eye test. And because of that, his swarm team has suffered a lot of losses. His teammates had only played with star players or role players. Nothing like Jello, who's somewhere in between. He's humble enough to be a role player until you need him to be the star player. And that's why Lonzo and LaMelo to this day still would like their brother to join their team. As of yet, both the Charlotte Hornets Summer League team and the Swarm G League team have yet to give LiAngelo 10 touches of the basketball in one game that are on time and in his spot. Now, from this box score that I got on the screen right now, this wasn't a good game for LiAngelo. This is one where everybody talked a lot of stuff about him. He took 4 threes. He missed them all. You know, not such a good look for the sniper. But when you watch these games, LiAngelo looks the most NBA ready. Why do I say that? Because you got to look past the stats. Other guys are out there playing like they're going to be the star player on an NBA team when they walk in, and none of these guys were. They're going to have to go and they're going to have to fit in. But if you took LiAngelo and plugged him on an NBA team, he fit the way he played right here. And before we move on, I've got to address this because some of you guys are going to think I'm biased because I know LiAngelo Ball. I know the Ball family. I talk to him. I hang out with him. But I want to ask you, do you have a favorite basketball team? The 2 guys that speak every time that you watch on TV, aren't they the same guys? They know the players. They talk to the players. They work for the team. They root for the team. Sometimes you can accept things when it's on a big scale, but when some guy comes up and just does it, you don't know how to take it. So hopefully you guys can respect it. But I really enjoyed the clip of Pat Beverley talking to these guys, seeing these guys in the gym, and everybody's like, oh yeah, we're going against NBA players, doopsie-doo, loop-de-loo, and Pat Bev looking around like, bro, you think you finna go into an NBA gym and do all that? No, it's not going down like that. And y'all not running back on defense. What did I say every time I showed those LiAngelo videos? Look who's working the hardest. Look who's going full throttle. And when everybody was saying that LiAngelo needs to do this and do that, and I was saying to you guys, LiAngelo is doing what the coaches ask of him. I want to reread this quote to you. He says, Jello has bought into doing the right thing and being a pro. It's always great to have him here. He gives you the shooting and the defensive stuff. You feel like you can play him. Some of you guys say LiAngelo can't defend. When the coaches see him out there, they see maximum effort. They see paying attention. They see a work ethic that is gonna make him better. So he's out there doing the intangibles, doing the dirty work. And this is not the only team that sees it. These other teams are seeing it as well. And, you know, they're seeing things like 16 points in 16 minutes, 12 points in 12 minutes, 22 points in 24 minutes, 53 points in the Drew League. And they're scratching their head because they're like, man, are the Hornets, the Swarm, missing something? Why does Lonzo and LaMelo still want LiAngelo on their team, and we're seeing these spurts of greatness? Maybe if we paired him with a point guard who would pass it to him on time and in his spots, he might be able to show us something. That's why LaMelo and Lonzo are like, y'all want to pass on him? Go ahead, give him here. We'll take our brother, because the first team that pairs him with the point guard that gets him the ball, like I said, on time and in his spots consistently, is going to mess around and basically get a lottery pick. Because I'll say this, out of all of the Swarm games, the Hornet games that you've seen, even the ones where LiAngelo did pretty good, but they didn't give him more time, you haven't even seen LiAngelo in the rhythm. You haven't seen where they fed him consistent enough for him to get into a zone and actually start to do what he does. But thank you guys for sticking around to watch this entire video. If you want to say thanks, there's a new feature on YouTube that they did put in down there. Other than that, like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Ball facts again. Peace.